Terry just announced that all the lefties are going to play against Kershaw except for Conforto. Does it surprise you that they're going to go with Duda at first?
Not at all. No, because Duda can make one swing and change a ball game. Now, he can be pitched too, but one mistake and he could lose it, and then might lose a ball game. So I think you got to go with. What are your other options? What are you going to do with Uribe? Can't play first. He's off the list anyway.
Right.
Conforto, you knew they weren't going to play against left-handers, so that's Kadire and left. If you put Kadire at first and left Duda out, who are you going to put in the outfield?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think, here's the follow-up then, who's better against lefties, Duda or Conforto? I know you love Conforto's game. Who do you think would be better against Kershaw? Because if you play Conforto, then you could play Kadire at first instead of Duda.
Well, I love Conforto. And you could put Conforto in there, and he might be the MVP of the series. Who knows how it's going to play out? He just might wear it out. He has that capability. But I think that Terry's. How can you sit someone with 27 home runs?
Right.
It's a little difficult to do that. And he hit left-handers well early in the year, and he does have a good eye at the plate. I just think he's going with a veteran there, and I don't question that. The only thing that you could do differently is play Conforto in left and sit down Kadire. Then you got how many left-handers in the lineup? You can't sit Murph, and you got to hope the ball is not hit to him, or he's not running the bases in a critical situation.
Right.
You got to hope that he comes up with a clutch situation, because let's face it, he has been the most clutch hitter on this ball club and most consistent hitter on this club, and he's got to be in the lineup. Granderson's been. I'm going to tell you something. Granderson completely turned me around the first year and a half. Almost a year and a half here with the Mets, he was awful, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" And a lot of pressure on him with the long-term contract, coming across town, new fan base. But I tell you what, Michael, he played. I guess what you guys saw from him those couple years when he was healthy. He just had a fabulous year. Now he didn't hit left-handers; he's under 200, but he's got to play. And you know what he's always done when he's got comfortable the last 4 months of the season, 3.5 months of the season, when the real Curtis Anderson came to the ballpark and played. First, it's hard for me to tell you a guy that strikes out 150 times is a decent two-strike hitter. How do I say that? It's a complete paradox. But he gets 2 strikes on him, and the son of a gun runs it to 3-2 and can get a walk. He walked 90-plus times. So he's got to play. So that's my feeling. Everybody's got warts and weaknesses in their ball club. The Dodgers have weaknesses. The Mets have weaknesses.
Yeah, and if Lagares could hit better, then maybe you'd have more alternatives then. You could play him.
Then, yes, Lagares can be pitched to, and I think that you've got a veteran. He's opted for Kadire because Kadire's a veteran, and he's has playoff experience, and he can always, in a late switch, put Lagares out for defense.
And that's going to be a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it really hurts not to have Uribe, even though Uribe wouldn't factor in because he can only play third base, maybe second. But he'd be a right-hander off the bench. It's just really a tough loss for the Mets.
Yeah, because he's so clutch in big situations, has a couple of rings, too. We're talking to Keith Hernandez, part of SNY's coverage, as the Mets get their postseason going tomorrow. Keith, the offense completely disappeared the last couple of weeks of the season. Is that just end of the year, they know they're in, or is there some legitimate concerns about the way they hit down the stretch?
Well, I wouldn't be so concerned if they had faced pitching staff starting rotations like the Nationals the last weekend of the season. But when you go to Philadelphia and the team ERA is over 5 and you don't hit, that's alarming. Now, it's not like it's been a 2-week epidemic. They went to Cincinnati and kicked their fannies. It's another bad pitching staff that they just beat up on, a small ballpark. But then they went to Philly, And for some reason, I mean, you got a worse pitching staff and just as big a bandbox as Cincinnati, and they shut down. I think the off day, I mean, he gave everybody the day off on Sunday after they clinched on Saturday. Then they had the day off. I think the 2 days kind of messed up their rhythm. I don't have the answers for you. We have a lot of guys that can hit weak pitching, mediocre pitching, and a lot of guys that are very dangerous, but it can be pitched to. And you get to caliber pitching, you find out who the big boys are. And, you know, a lot of the good pitchers get most hitters out. So, fortunately, the Mets have good pitching. The young pitchers are going to have to just step up. And DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, they're going to have to step up, particularly the first two guys, and match up against Greinke and Kershaw.
Which on with
pitch their butts off and keep the team in it.
John with Keith Hernandez of SNY. Their 2-hour pregame show begins tomorrow at 7:30. And then right after the game, they have a post-game show as well. I'm so intrigued to get your take on this, Keith, because you did it all as a player. You were a leader, the whole deal. Matt Harvey, if he pitches well on Monday in Game 3, I guess all is forgiven. But how unforgivable is it that he just completely flakes out on a mandatory practice? I don't understand how you could do that. What else could be on your mind?
Well, I like Matt. I really do. And I defended Matt with the pitch count stuff. But I can't defend him here. I mean, he apologized. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm flabbergasted. After all the crap that came his way, and he wants to pile on more, I don't get it. And particularly your teammates. You know, just forget what the uproar is and all of that. It's just your teammates. You're going to the playoffs. This team hasn't been to the playoffs in 9 years. These young men that are here playing, it's their first round go-about in the playoffs. And to do that, I mean, I don't care one way or the other. It doesn't affect me one way or the other, but I find it very amusing, and I'm flabbergasted.
So how does that affect the relationship? Is this just something, Keith, you just have to live with?
No, I think Matt knows that he's wrong. He hasn't got a leg to stand on. He can't defend it. He's pretty much apologized for it. I don't think it's going to affect the team.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. They got business at hand. But it's unnecessary baloney, and I think it was handled internally through Terry. And what are you going to do? I don't know what to say. It's almost comical.
And you know what? A lot of fans are saying, Keith, well, you know, you shouldn't start him. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, this isn't college football, and you need him, and it's a sorry state of the world. But you know this, Keith. If you're a star player, you get away with stuff. So if he pitches well on Monday, all is forgiven.
Well, even if he's a 4 starter on a rotation, he would start in a playoff game.
Right.
You know, and so it's not just because he's Matt Harvey. He's only so many. You need pitching, and he's very critical. But I don't know what to say, guys. I picked up the paper. I said, "You got to be kidding me!"
It's inexplicable.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it really is. That's the perfect answer because none of it makes sense.